Testing 1 2. Can you hear me? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Can you hear me? Do we have sound now? Can we hear sound? Testing 1 2. Can we hear sound? Can we hear sound? Testing 1 2. Still no sound. No sound. No sound. No sound. Testing 1 2. No sound. No sound. Can you hear sound? So we got sound? Okay, great. All right. Well, we're back and we are live. Like I said, we're live at Hotel Indigo in Tallahassee, Florida. We're preparing for the next level wealth management summit. It's happening right here in Tallahassee, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the fact that we're in a kingdom shift. We're in a shift whereby the kingdom is understanding the power and the value of wealth. And what we're understanding as we move, we're looking at the pandemic has really shifted ministry. It has shifted us into a place of understanding how the marketplace is working. Those of you on Facebook, if you got sound coming through, let me hear some hearts. Put some hearts in the red. Let me make sure that we have sound coming through. Let me make sure we have sound coming through in the thread. Let's make sure that. All right, those of you who have tuned in to 95.3 Hallelujah FM, this is Greg James Community Show, and we're excited about what's happening in the city of Tallahassee. But actually, Wanda, we're excited about. Well, listen, I'm going to be talking to some of our amazing guests today. I'm going to be talking with a young man who I feel like is so valuable to our community when it comes to the work he does, and when it comes to two things I think that the body of Christ is having to deal with. One, we're having to deal with not enough life insurance and no life insurance. And then the next thing we're dealing with is property. So therefore, that means we've got to change our mindset when it comes to the next level. When it comes to the next level, we've got to understand that the Bible has declared that I want you to prosper just as your soul prosper. The mentality of staying broke and looking poor makes you look like a Christian is out. We have to change that mindset. This is a season, this is an hour where the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. This is an hour when God is calling us to walk into the wealthy place. And I believe that we're in an hour, we're in a moment, we're in a time whereby God is saying, I want you to have what you need. So I'm excited about the young man who's joining me today. I'm excited about him. And certainly when we look at life, when we look at death, when we look at insurance, many of us are missing out. So we're going to be talking to him on two aspects. We're going to talk about how we as a people are not being insured, and we're having to do things to ensure that our loved ones are buried properly, when what we have to do in this hour is start educating families and start having workshops about the value of what's needed. And so I'm so delighted to have Jonathan Kelly with me from Life New York Life. Yeah. Absolutely. And you're able to talk to me on both fronts because you're excited not only about being able to help people understand what is needed when it comes to having what is needed for their loved ones, but you're also able to talk to us about this next level wealth management. How important is that?
Man, I think it's very important. Just the access to information about, assets and wealth management, the mindset, and, being able to generate generational wealth and accumulate these things is important because as a community, we're not taught these things. We aren't taught growing up that, hey, you need to learn about taxes, you need to learn about life insurance, you need to learn about how to not just save money in the bank, but invest money, right? So it's just these different skill sets and ideology that we just aren't taught, where I love talking about it and educating. The more I can tell people, the better.
Well, I mean, the Bible says people perish for a lack of knowledge. Yeah. And, sometimes I look at it and I'm grateful for you because it is young men like you, it is young men like Dante Lewis, it's young men like Nathan Williams who have really just taken it upon themselves to dive into the books, to get all of the information that is needed to become an ambassador for health and wealth. And that is so important in this area and in this time that we're living in. Why? Because so many of our loved ones are losing their lives and we're having to do GoFundMe.
Yeah. Fish fries, GoFundMes, cookouts, try to raise money, things like that. But at the end of the day, that's temporary. This is what I think of, right? Let's say we are able to raise $10,000 to barely get somebody in the ground, right? That's called final expense. Well, what about the next 5 years when that person is no longer earning income? What about the next 10 years when they're not there anymore? That income needs to be replaced. There's no way that a fundraiser, a GoFundMe, or a fish fry is gonna take care of somebody's family for the next 5-10 years. Nobody thinks about that part, right? They only think about it's enough to bury it, but then you have to pick up the pieces and figure it out. Most people only focus on death benefit, right? Yes, that is tax-free. Yes, that is guaranteed, which is great. But we need to think about replacing income and finding ways to make our money grow. To let the money make money for us, not just, well, if I die in the next 20 years, I know I got $20,000, $10,000 to pay to put me in the ground.
Wow.
And
I'm sure, you're seeing it as you sharing your professional work. And how difficult is it to just really educate people to know the value of having a policy? Because I just believe that our counterparts take it a step further. They buy insurances and they want the church to have $1 million and they want this building to be named after them with $2 million and they want little Johnny to have this. But we don't see it like that. We say, oh, I'm not going to die and leave you all that money for me.
Man, you speaking the truth right there. That's the facts. When I tell you, I talk to so many people and their mindset is I'm not letting nobody get rich on me, right?
Wow.
They say I'm not letting nobody get rich on me. And they're speaking about their family now. They're not talking about strangers. They're talking about people who they raised or loved or been around and take care of. I'm not letting them get rich on me. That's their mindset. But the other people, let's say, whether you call it, white people, Asian people, whatever, guess what they do? They put their money in trust. They do take it a step further. We don't even talk about trust. They put their money in trust, and it's a family trust. So if you have 15 members in this family, they're putting life insurance policies on everybody in the family and throwing it in a trust.
Wow.
That's, guess what? Growing every year. That's, guess what? Accumulating interest, dividends. And then when somebody dies, they leave it in the trust. Now it goes into their trust for the family trust. How you think the Rockefellers got so well? Family trust.
I mean, we know about trust, but it is I don't trust you. That's that's what we know about.
Yeah.
And I think it's high time that all of us become now educated, become more informed. It's high time now that we take the opportunity to really put into action a plan that is going to make the future of our loved ones much better. And so I'm grateful for the work that you're doing. I'm grateful for how you are, as a young man. And I believe that we're in an hour and time whereby God is raising up young men to really lead us into this health and wealth revolution that we are now experiencing.
Yeah.
I mean, because you didn't go to school for this, did you?
No, man. I went to school for broadcast journalism. And the only reason I did that was because I was playing basketball. And my freshman year, they said, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know, I'm 18. I want to play basketball. Right? You asked me what I want to do. I don't know. But then he said, well, what do you want to do if basketball don't work out? I was like, well, get a job at ESPN and talk about basketball. He said, broadcast journalism was what my Bible said.
Wow.
I didn't know about business. I didn't know about, different types of finance and management and doing things where I could have learned that in college. I didn't know about economics and when I was coming into college, which is something now I'm interested in all that stuff, and I'm learning about macroeconomics and learning about the different markets around the world and, geopolitical things that all tie into the economy, monetary policy. I'm learning about this. I knew nothing about that in college. So now that I know, it's like, I gotta tell other people that need to listen and learn this stuff.
Absolutely, and it's so important that you be able to do that because we're in an hour. For those of you who are listening to the broadcast right now, I'm talking with Jonathan Kelly, who is a New York mutual, and I'm excited to have him with me today. Also, I'm excited about so many others that's going to be joining us. But right now, we are just sharing, and I have, believe it or not, I'm at Hotel Indigo, and I have a little audience in the background. As a matter of fact, I want them to make some noise. Yeah! That's right. Hey, listen, they're excited about our summit, which is getting ready to start at 3:15. It's the next level wealth management. And guess what? People are becoming wealthy because they are protecting themselves through life insurance. Nothing wrong with that, is it?
Nothing wrong with it. It's actually something where I think if more people understood that you don't have to get life insurance just for the death benefit, but you can get it to protect your assets, right? You can get it to mitigate your taxes, right? All right, let me give you this example, Greg. So we're talking about life insurance, right? What if life insurance was an investment too, right? What if it was the same thing as, I have an IRA, right? I have a 401k. I have a CD, right? What if you had a cash value life insurance policy that got you better returns tax-free? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, nobody talks about that. Nobody's thinking about that. I got off the phone today with a guy that was about 31, 32, no kids. So, he was like, man, that's the last thing I'm thinking about is life insurance. I'm like, I get it. In his mind, he thinks I don't have a reason to, right? They think I'm young, I'm healthy. I don't have a reason to think about life insurance because they're only thinking one aspect, one side of it, which is when I die, my family's gonna get this. I don't care about that. I want the living benefits. I want those.
Well, listen, I tell you, what you have just heard is next level. And that's what this summit is all about. It's next level wealth management. And I'm excited about what's happening right here at Hotel Indigo, 826 West Game Street. Listen, at 3:15, we're getting ready to start a small mini session that's going to be led by, perhaps many of you were tuned in on last night for Tuesday Empowerment with Dante Lewis, a young man, 27 years old, six-figure earner. And just to hear him, as I reflect on hearing Jonathan, who's with me today, I mean, the same mindset, the same language. It's about empowerment. He's going to be sharing. Also, Nathan Williams, another young man who fathers a pastor. This young man is a developer of software that is really getting ready to literally shift, I say shift, the entire mindset and the whole structure of how generating and maximizing your money is done. This man has created, developed a software that is generating. He's done over a year and a half of beta testing. It's generated anywhere from 5 to 12%. There is nowhere in banks, is it?
0. 12% is, put it this way, hedge funds, right? Everybody knows about like BlackRock and all these different hedge funds around the country and in the world, for that matter. If you go and look up what's the average return ROI on a hedge fund, about 5-6%. You lucky if you get 8, right? Just 8%. So if you're getting 9, 10, 12, I mean that's jackpot. Anything more than 6 really is unheard of. 6 to 8, because even with IRAs and 401ks, you're not going to get 10% or more. So people got to understand, like, if you're not beating inflation, that's a whole other conversation. But if inflation is at 7.9, almost 8%, what do you think your money is doing sitting in the bank that's giving you 0.06%?
For the whole year.
For a whole year. You're not making that.
And this is what next level wealth management is about. To be able to have a young man that's going to be joining us here shortly that has created a software that is, I mean, literally people are just being blown away with the level of success that has happened. And to be able to think about, money in the bank, I mean, whether I have $100 in the bank or whether I have 100,000 in the bank, one of the things I know they're going to charge me for holding the money. They're going to charge me when I want to take money out of the bank. They're going to charge me for, there's so many charges that goes with that. Mm-hmm. And the return on the money, for me, is nothing, but the banks are using it. Yep. And they're generating great return.
Oh yeah, the banks take our money. So the banks want you to put their money into their bank account, into their financial institution, what it is. And they want you to put it there so they can take it and invest it. So they want you to put your money, whether it's $500, $5,000, or $500,000. They want you to put their money there. And guess what? They're going to guarantee you, the FDIC is going to guarantee you up to $250,000, right? But they're going to take all of that money and go and put it into the markets and invest it. And guess what else they'll do? They'll take that money and put it into life insurance, and they'll grow that money too. They back, the biggest policyholders are life insurance. I mean, not life insurance, our banks. Our banks.
So the Bible says it like this: people perish for a lack of knowledge. So until we become knowledgeable of what's going on around us, we're going to stay perishing. And that does not mean you're going to live in poverty, but your mindset is going to be a perishing mindset. So here it is. Our counterparts understand trust funds. We understand I don't trust nobody with my funds. With my funds. Hey, listen, this is the Great James Community Show. We're here at 95.3 FM, hallelujah. And I'm talking to Jonathan Kelly, who's not just a New York life insurance rep, but I mean, this year you got a top award.
Yeah, I won my first year. I won Agent of the Year in 6 months. Well, not Agent of the Year, Rookie of the Year in 6 months when I first started. Then last year I won most paid cases, most FYC, which is first year commissions. Just doing what I'm supposed to do.
And and this is what I want to say about him. He's not working to be seen. He's just seen working. And I tell people all the time, when you are seen working, guess what? Your work is going to speak for you. So listen, let me share with you about what's happening tonight. Tonight at 6:45, you got a chance to get to Hotel Indigo. You got a chance to get here tonight to hear what is going to be happening in and around this next level wealth management. You got a chance to get here because this is life changing. For those of you who are listening to the broadcast, it's life-changing. The reason why it's life-changing is because I'm going to be joined with so many young people in just a few minutes who have dived into the wisdom that God has given them, the gift that God has given them, and now they're shifting a generation. Joining me right here, come on in here. Joining me right here is none other than Mr. Nathan Williams. Nathan Williams is a developer, a software developer, and he is getting ready to take the market by storm. He's getting ready to probably, I don't know what I'm going to say, Jonathan, he's probably going to upset the world.
Hey, you know what? If you're not making a disruption, you ain't doing nothing. If you're disrupting the industry, then you're doing something.
Well, the industry.
Whatever it is, it sounds good.
but listen, I want y'all to put your hands together and let's welcome Nathan Williams to the Nathan, man, listen, we're glad to have you in the beautiful city of Tallahassee. Let's talk a little bit about what you've been working on behind the scenes and what the potential of the ROI is on your new development that, we get ready to fly all across the world and drop this off in churches and businesses, streets. We're gonna drop it on everywhere. We're gonna drop this like it's hot. You hear me? Let's talk about it.
First of all, I appreciate you having me here in lovely state of Florida, good weather. ROI is always number one question to ask. It's whatever you make it. Some people love conservative settings, some people love moderate settings, some people want aggressive settings, and then some people just want the to the moon settings.
That's sweet. Anybody else in here to the moon? Do I have anybody else in the audience to the moon? Put some noise together, y'all, to the moon.
And so, we're gonna have multiple settings to launch, with the expert advisor version. Of course, the main version is already launched. People are making the most of it. We have people passing funding challenges. We have people, getting their 5% a day, 2% a day, 10% a day. You have people, growing accounts from, 200 to 5,000, 500 to, 2,000. Whatever it is they want to do, they're doing a thing. People are enjoying, making a lot of money. You know, there are people that are making money that you don't hear about. They don't talk about it in the chats. You just hear about it through your connections. You know, they're making a full-time living, you know, utilizing software. So, you know, the goal really isn't for me is about ROI. The goal is about making trading easier for the masses. So it comes down to. For me, it's not about the ROI. Because the ROI will come when you understand how to use the tools and you understand the basics of the market. Once you understand the basics and the tool tells you when to get in, when to get out, then you can start to concentrate on ROI. At the end of the day, you cannot grow your account or have any type of ROI if you have no clue how the market moves, why the market moves, when the market moves, how to get in, when to get in, and why to get in. Once you understand those 6 aspects, then you can start to concentrate on ROI.
Wow. For those of you who are tuned into the broadcast, we're talking with Nathan Williams, software developer. Just an amazing young man, but he just really caused me to pause because he said something that was life-riveting. He said, I'm not concerned about the ROI. What I'm concerned about is you understanding how to get into the market, how to use the tool. And once you understand that, then I guess there's no limit to the ROI, John.
There's no limit. See, our ROI is, it's different for everybody. You know what I mean? But what he's saying is 100% correct. It's not about the money. You know, like when I trade, I'm a Forex trader also. When I trade, like I tell people, it's not about how much money I'm making. It's about catching the move. Am I in the move at the right entry point? You know, is the volatility right? Is the environment right? You know, that's what I'm looking at. You know, people are like, but you're up $7,000. I'm like, but the move is not done yet. I'm a swing trader. I'm not trading for 1 hour and then out the market. I'm not trading on the 1 minute, 2 minutes.
You have patience, something I don't have.
I have patience.
So for those of you,
Yeah.
I got, because he thought it was shade there and hurt me. He said, I'm not. So he was talking to me.
Look, I told you about that.
Yeah,
You gotta
he
stop
did.
that.
But listen, those of you who tuned into the broadcast by way of Facebook, I'm talking with Jonathan Kelly, who is, as we were earlier talking about life insurance and the value of that, we're talking about next level wealth management. And life insurance is a part of wealth management. And he also understands how to navigate through the markets to create an extra residual income. And then I'm also talking with Nathan Williams, the developer of software that's literally changing the lives of people across this nation. As a matter of fact, the movement to change has not even begun to happen. You are at the very beginning of a movement, and you don't want to miss it. Tonight, listen to me. Tonight, you want to make plans to join us right here, Hotel Indigo. The address is 826 West Game Street, Tallahassee, Florida. Tonight, what are some of the things that they can anticipate on here?
Break down the softwares, you know, how I thought of the softwares, why I created them the way I created them. Give a little backstory on that. It's always fun to understand the backstory of where the softwares come from and why they created the way they created. How to utilize the software together. That's one thing we're really trying to shift. You know, as people have more than one of the softwares, I have 3 softwares out now. As far as the manual versions, we have 2 automated versions coming. So, how do you use the softwares together? Because together they're more powerful. Wow. They are separate. It's like Thanos. He had the gauntlet, and when he had 1 stone, he had a little power. When he had 2 stones, he had even more power. When he got all 5 stones, he had the most power.
Who that was?
That Thanos from Marvel.
Oh, I thought y'all were talking about David fighting with life. Hey, for those of you who are listening to us on Faith Radio, they talking about Thanos with how many fingers?
With the gauntlet, when you put on the glove, and then he had the stones.
Okay.
Power stone.
Yeah.
Okay, they talking about Power Stone. I know David, when he went to go get Goliath, he had 5 stones too. And those stones were powerful. But here's the key. Here's the key. They recognized where the power was. And tonight, he's going to let you know where the power from this software is coming from. Man, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So you're here because you want to know where the power is coming from.
Listen, I want to know, anything that I feel like I'm always learning. I never tell anybody, oh, I know it all, because I can learn from anybody. So he's someone I just met, he's new, but guess what? He knows something, he has software that I've never seen, heard, used before. Why not learn it, Why not hear about it? So.
Hey, listen, it's happening. Next level wealth management is happening tonight, 6:45. And believe it or not, at 2 a.m. in the morning, for those of you who thought about trading, who've been struggling with trading, who've been just trying to figure out, how do I do it? Mr. Nathan Williams has created something so simple that a 5-year-old can win. And he, along with Dante Lewis and several more of the Warrior Prime leadership team, they're in Tallahassee. And he said, Greg, listen, man, we're going to trade until I leave. And he's not leaving until Friday evening. So what does that mean? We're going to trade the London session. We're going to trade the New York session. We're going to trade the Asia session. Then we're going to trade the New York again. Then we're going to trade the London. Then we're going to trade the Asia. And then we're going to trade the New York. And then he's going to get on the plane. And if he trades the way I've been seeing him doing, I might get on the plane with him. So listen, it's happening tonight. I want to get a chance to talk with our sales director for the hotel. And I want to get a chance to talk to him because he has been so kind to us. They are a title sponsor for this whole event, Hotel Indigo. Jay Green, an amazing man. I am excited about how they have made the accommodations for us. We're looking for an amazing time to happen right here. We're getting ready for a small session that's starting about 3:15. Some of our pastors are going to be joining us. Some of our community leaders are going to be joining us. Wednesday night Bible class, a lot of pastors couldn't make it, but they're making time to be here today at 3:15. So we're excited about that. Let's talk about something else that I think is so important. As those of you who are viewing us on Facebook, you can see the two gentlemen that are with me. They are young. They're young-minded. They're energetic. And the key to what they are able to see and do is that they have created a hunger to get all of the knowledge they can to empower people. Why is it so important that you travel this nation sharing this software, this knowledge, and this information?
A couple reasons. Number one, my mission is to help many people learn to trade. It doesn't matter what financial asset, stock options, forex, indexes, precious metals, energies, whatever, cryptocurrency. And so what I've learned is sometimes to get your mission done, you have to go the extra mile, which means you have to go out to the people, come to them, touch them, feel them, talk to them, embrace them, walk them through the fundamentals. Because not everybody can actually get on the call. Not everybody can actually plug in to the community that we have available. But you come out and you show people that you're real. Go the extra mile. That's all it takes to know.
1 million people. What do you think about that?
I think I was thinking too small. I had the same vision, but I said, I think I said like 100,000. But the fact that you said 1 million, I'm like, that's it. It's a bigger picture, bigger mindset. Don't ever, like I'm sure when he came up with that idea, he was like, I'm not going to think small. Most people think small and they limit themselves. He said, I want to help 1 million people. Well, I believe he might help 2 million, 3 million. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And then just so on. So
wow, and to be able to hear, listen to what is changing the dynamics of this whole conversation. To be able to hear young minds who have created and developed something that literally has the power to shift a whole economy. And he said, I'm on a journey to help 1 million people. 1 million. What are some of the success stories you had, Nathan, since some people have, been using the product?
I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about it, asked a similar question. I told him my favorite success stories are seeing those who have mastered the software, 1 or 2 pairs that they trade, and they now have quit their jobs and now full-time traders. I know of 10 people right now in the last 18 months, just from the original software that I launched, that have actually quit their jobs and they're now full-time traders, and they now can travel the world, and they are traveling the world, trading, spending time with their families, and in a better financial position, than they were before.
You know, there's a young lady that I'm sure you mentored her. She's a single parent. I mean, I'm sure you took up under your wings. You call on her all the time when you're on live calls, and she is doing just phenomenal. Jackie. She is doing amazing.
Jackie is she's at another level. So Jackie was Jackie Panetta, right?
Yeah.
Jackie was part of the actual original beta test group for the first software that I launched. And back then, Jackie was only trading. I think she said she only needed 75 pips. She was already a full-time trader at that point, but she only needed 75 pips a week to make her living. That was her goal, and she only traded 40 pairs. She didn't trade anything else. Now Jackie's probably catching about 7,500 to 15,000 pips a week because she now trades the indexes on top of the forex pairs, and she's making a living that's now exceeded what she was beforehand. Because now she, as she stated, the software made her feel a lot more comfortable trading more volatile pairs. And of course, we've had time where as I've gone through this journey of trying to help others learn to trade, I've had to, of course, as I always do, invest in myself, gain mentors, become a better trader myself. And I've shared some of that wisdom with her, and she's taken it to another level that we're now. She's really taking it to that level where it's second nature, and it's not second nature just to be. Brother Jonathan was talking about when he talked about small-minded. Now she's like, yeah, 75 pips is all I need, but now I can go get more. And I desire to get more because I have to teach others how they can go get more. 75 pips for me is all I need, but somebody else with a smaller account, they may need 500 pips. How can I teach this person with a smaller account to catch 500 pips a week, a month, to be able to make the living they need, or to be able to make the income they need to pay a bill, or to just pay their subscription, whatever the case may be. So Jackie's been phenomenal. And the great thing about Jackie is she teaches as well. So I've learned as much from her as she probably learned from me.
Wow.
Can I say
Yes,
something?
sir.
What I hear, and I'm sure you probably already know this, what I hear when you tell stories like that is freedom, right? Because that's really what we're talking about, is freedom. Freedom to do what you want, work when you want, work where you want, and work how you want, and live how you want, right? Because when you don't have to depend on a job just over broke, right? When you don't have to depend on that because you know how to create your own income, I mean, that's called freedom. Especially when what you're doing with a short amount of time can pay all your expenses. I mean, that's no other way to put it. That's freedom right there.
Yeah, and when we talk about a short amount of time, Nathan, you are doing live trading calls that last, maybe an hour?
2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours.
And you do that 3 days out of the week?
Correct.
3 days out of the week, 2 hours. 3 days out of the week, 2 hours. And he has this new thing called the wow. And what that mean?
So Thou again, the whole goal is to, on top of teaching you, and make it fun.
Yeah.
Trading can be serious. It is serious, but you want to have fun while you're doing it. And so it's the same that me and my fraternity brother have when we were at the casino. And we made $1,000. And we made $1,000. So I was like, well, when you get 1,000 pips trading any indice or cryptocurrency, we're gonna call it $1,000. So $1,000 is a friendly, easy, fun way of saying that I made or caught 1,000 pips, in one trade at a time, or multiple trades. It doesn't really matter.
So
1,000 pips.
So if I caught 1,000 pips at 0.1, I made $100.
0.1, depending on your trade, you could make $1,000.
If I caught it at $1 on the US 30, I made $10,000.
10,000.
How many times do you do that in a week?
Depends on the week. Some less than others,
Hey, so listen, if you have not registered, don't worry about that. Just make your way here because he trades 3 times a week for 2 hours, and we catch thou hours at least twice a day. Now, there are some days we don't catch a thou wow, but guess what happened? He's only gonna miss 2 opportunities. When those 2 done, he said, hey guys, we ending the call today. Ending the call today. But when we come back tomorrow, the market is in trouble. When he come back the next day, it's in trouble. So one day I'm in the airport. I'm gonna tell y'all this quick story, and then we're gonna talk to our title sponsor, Hotel Indigo. And then I've got my good friend, Pastor Clarence Jackson, in the audience, and we're going to talk about what he got coming up this weekend. I'm in the airport, and we get in the trade, and he puts the stop loss there. And when the stop loss hit, he said, okay, guys, don't worry about it. He's playing tricks on me. I'm in the airport. They're calling for me, and everybody else to load up. He said, okay, we get back in. It's going in the direction that it's supposed to be going. And I'm like, Lord, I'm going to get on this plane, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to be nervous, but I got to trust the GOAT. I got to trust the GOAT. He's not on the football field like Tom Brady. He's not on the basketball court like LeBron James. He's in the market. He's the GOAT. I put the sail in. I get on the plane. I don't even put a take profit because I'm Russian. I ain't get 1 thou wow. I ain't get 2 thou wows. I got 3 by the time the plane in. So you know what I'm saying? so listen, you gotta get here tonight. You gotta get here tonight. You gotta get here. Don't worry about whether or not you know how to trade, because guess what? The plan is already designed. We got the developer. And when you think about a developer, what comes to your mind?
Developer, I think of people like, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs.
Okay, stop right there. Do they look like us?
No.
Now who we got now? Who we got now? Yo, make it great.
Listen, they don't know, but I mean, you're absolutely right. Like, you think of developers, you don't think of black men.
Absolutely.
Which is a problem. Like, we need more black men developing things that can change the world like this and free up and really free people.
And that's why we're here, and that's why I'm excited about the relationship that we have with these 2 gentlemen, Nate Williams and Dante Lewis, Jonathan Keller. Man, listen, these are young minds who are getting ready to become ambassadors of change for the kingdom. So I'm excited about that. Listen, I want y'all to give it up for these young men tonight. Tonight at 6:45, I want you to make your way to Hotel Indigo. It's our next level wealth management summit. And what I like about it is just now getting ready to get started. The momentum is just now hitting us. We are taking this across the nation. Nate said, I want to set 1 million people free. And there's nothing like freedom. So I want y'all to give it up for them. They're going to be getting ready for our 3:15 session. And then we're getting ready for our 6:45 session. So I'm excited about it. Dante, can we get you in here right quick? And then, okay, yeah. Can we get you? So tell us what you're going to be doing tonight. You're going to be giving away something.
Oh, yes. So tonight, for anybody, I know we're going to have a lot of new people get started with us, a lot of new people joining just the marketplace ministry and the community. And a lot of times I hear with new people, it's like a fear or kind of like I don't have enough money to begin to trade with. I hear that all the time from people. And what that shows me is that not a lot of people know about prop firms and just the ability to leverage other people's money when it comes to day trading. There's 2 sides of the coin that we're going to talk about tonight. One side is about investing and the other side is about day trading. And they're both extremely valuable. But we're talking about day trading specifically and creating another stream of active income into your life. You can leverage other people's money. So what we're going to do tonight is pick 10 people that get started with us tonight and take them through a 2-week training process over these next 14 days after we leave the event tonight, and then prepare them to be able to use and leverage other people's money. And 10 of those people will be given a $10,000 account to be able to trade with by myself.
All right. Wow. I don't know how to do it. I'm tired of using my money. Okay. So that's happening tonight, man. So let's give it up for these 3 gentlemen.
Let me. What, I just want to ask one question. We in a great college town. Absolutely wonderful college town. We got FAMU here. We got FSU here. We got what, TTC here. Is that what
That's
it is? And I know that a lot of these young people's lives can be changed
Yes, sir.
by learning how to trade. So my question to Dante is, would he commit, if these students show up, if they come out tonight, would he commit to taking at least 2, maybe 3 students who show up and show them how to trade with the $10,000 account?
He put me on the spot. He said how he tried to do me. He set the whole situation up. Absolutely, we're willing to take in 2 to 3 students.
All right, well, that's it. That's it. Well, listen, I want to talk with our title sponsor, Hotel Indigo, Mr. Jay Green. Man, you are here now. And certainly want to thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about what's happening here at the hotel.
Well, we're excited. We're what I call raising the standard here. Great property, brand new, open less than 2 years in College Town, situated right between Florida A&M University and Florida State University. So it's great, nice, clean, big rooms, great space. Here's what I love about you. You came in, known you for years, love you like a brother, and you're having an event for next level wealth management. This whole space is yours. There's no one walking through. It's primarily for you and your company coming. That's what we like to have people come and hang out with us and have their corporate events, the social events here at Hotel Indigo College.
Wow. Well, listen, man, I tell you, we're excited about it. And certainly just the atmosphere here has been so much of a mind shift. And normally when you are having an event, you're on the second floor of a conference room or the third floor. We are at the top level. We're at the next level, looking over the city.
Yes, sir.
So, man, I want to thank you so much.
Great to
Thank
have you.
all of you at the hotel for what you are doing. The management team, they have just been phenomenal. So I want to give a good shout out for the Hotel Indigo. If you're looking for a place that's next level, then you need to be looking for them at Hotel Indigo. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
man.
appreciate you. Get with the team and we'll get to work to make sure this event, everything is supposed to be over next couple days.
Okay, so we'll see you tonight.
That's it. Looking forward to it.
All right. Hey, listen, let's give it up for the sales manager and our name and Mr. Jay Green. Also, let me bring to the forefront, and I want to talk to this young man, Pastor Clarence Jackson. I want to talk to him. Come on, let's give it up for him as he comes. Let's give it up for him. Hey, man, listen, it's a blessing to have you.
I'm excited.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to have you. First of all, I want to dive into 2 things. One, I want to share with our audience. You and I were probably almost a decade of not speaking or having a conversation.
That's right.
And we would always send out words that, man, when I see him, I'm so and you. I don't know what you said, but I know what I said. But here it is. After all of those years, we run across each other in the bank. After sitting down at the Waffle House, get ready to meet with my man, and the Lord says, Greg, I want you to teach them about manning up. And I run into you, and the question comes in my mind, okay, now, are you going to man up? Or are you going to walk by a young man who you know and who you have in my office with? Are you going to man up today? That day literally changed my life and your life.
Right, it did, because like you, I wasn't expecting to see you. And the way God orchestrated it was, we actually came face to face, and we couldn't run, right? I couldn't go to the left or the right, you couldn't do it either. So we were forced, God literally forced us to meet face to face. And when I finally met face to face, man, like it was interesting because we actually smiled when we saw each other. Like it was crazy, man. Like
Divine appointment.
yeah, we smiled when we saw each other. We shook hands, man, we hugged, and then we had a conversation. And I'll tell anybody out there, man, there are a lot of times we don't talk to people. A lot of times we don't associate with people. And we really don't know what the real issue is, man. And when you think about it, we meet each other face to face. If we really had an issue, we would have fought that day. Absolutely. If we really had an issue, man, we still would have walked past each other that day. But we're human. And somebody said this way, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you, man. Somebody said to me, man, how can y'all be men of God and not speak to each other for that long? And my answer to that was, before you said God, you said me.
Me. Absolutely.
We're men. We're men. And so there were some things that I was offended by. There were some things that you were offended by. And then when we talk about those things, man, it's nothing. So it was spiritual immaturity at best.
Yeah,
But I think that's what it is.
and what we have been able to see, man, God has really used the both of us as a catalyst to help so many other men reconcile relationships
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they have.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so I'm just grateful and I'm excited about the Man Up Conference that we're getting ready to hold.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to bring that in, but on another note, I'm excited that here it is, God reconciled us at a time where you're now running for office, and we fell apart at a time when you was running for office. Isn't that something?
It is.
So let's talk about what's happening. You're running for county commission, county commissioner, District 2,
District 4.
District 4. Let's talk about it. What caused that to happen?
Well, the best way I can put it is, man, if you've been sick for 20 years and you've had the same doctor for 20 years, and another doctor come in and says, I can do something better, and you've been sick for 20 years and you haven't been helped for 20 years.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna let my audience ask that. So you've been sick for 20 years. You had the same doctor for 20 years, and a new doctor comes in. What y'all gonna do? Time to change.
Yeah, it's time to do something different. Listen, if you're sick and you're not getting any better, man, matter of fact, you're getting worse.
Hammer.
And a new doctor comes in who has experience of being affected, man, you look at that person and say, I gotta give you a chance at least. And so that's at the minimum level, man, while we're running for office, man. Our incumbent has been in office for 20 years. And Gadsden County isn't getting better, it's getting worse.
Wow.
So I'm a person with experience, man. I used to be the former mayor of a small city, but we did big things.
Absolutely.
In the city of Gretna. And I think we can bring that same type of energy, young energy, fresh energy, bold ideas, bold plans to the Gadsden County Commission.
And so now this Saturday, man, you're kicking off the campaign in the city where you was the former mayor.
That's right.
I understand Doc D is listening, and I understand, man, y'all got T&L and hot dogs, hamburgers, ribs. I mean,
it's gonna be a party, man. This Saturday night at 6 o'clock, T&L, Tallahassee Night Live, will be headlining the event. But it's gonna be huge. Something else, man. We have the support of every commissioner in the city of Gretna.
Wait. You say there are 5 commissioners.
That's correct.
And you have the support of all 5 commissioners.
Every commissioner, and also we have the support of former commissioners who will all be there to publicly endorse you at that event. But we're just gonna have a good time, man. Listen, I'm a pastor, but I love to have a good time. So we're throwing a big party for this campaign kickoff, and it's just gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Well, listen, it's happening. Join the kickoff celebration April the 2nd. Commissioner for District 4. The Bible said, call those things that be not as though they were. And so I'm already saying commissioner of District 4.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, as a matter of fact, my audience is saying it too. Is that right? Okay. So we're excited, and it's such a great time. And I'm excited to support and do all I can to ensure that what we just spoke becomes a reality, because I believe that this is the change that needs to happen. But listen, I'm glad you're here. You're here also for the Next Level Wealth Management meeting. But I wanted to bring you on, and I wanted to share with our listeners what's happening in Gretna with the kickoff, and share my support. But I'm going to bring you back at a later date where we can do a whole hour to talk about the
So we got to talk about this, not speak to each other.
Yeah, we got to talk.
I'm going to say that.
Hey, listen. Tyler Anderson said he has the full support of Anderson and Associates. Well, one thing that we know, if you got the Anderson and Associates support, you got money in the bank.
That's huge.
That's huge.
I need that check too.
Hey, the Anderson support is like money, and they say you don't leave home. What card that is? American Express. You don't leave home without the Anderson Express. Hey, listen, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And I want to ask you to join us tonight at 6:45 right here at Hotel Indigo. It's our next level, our wealth management summit. Listen, believe it or not, we didn't plan for this. I promise you we did. It just happened. It just happened. 2 weeks in the making, less than 14 days. And here we are getting ready to meet with about 15 to 12 pastors and some community leaders. And then we're going into a session tonight with well over, I don't even know what the numbers are. You just need to make plans to be here. All right, until next week, listen, this is what I want to tell you to do. I want you to go out to Gretna. I won't be able to be there, but eat some ribs for me.
Yeah. Come on out.
T&L gonna do what they do. And let's do what we need to do. All of my audience, I want y'all to give a big shout out to everybody that's listening. Good to see my man in the audience. That's all. Hey, listen, I'm gonna have to do more live. I'm gonna have to do more live broadcasting out here because this is absolutely amazing. Hey, listen, until next week, listen, y'all have a wonderful day. This is the Great J Community Show, the community show that inspires, informs, and gets you moving in the right direction. Until next week, be blessed and know that the best is yet to come. Amen. You